All right, this is Belgeode, and this is a quick stream test. This will only last a few seconds, so don't get too excited just yet. I'm making sure everything works. Right now, my webcam does not work, which is really upsetting me, but that's okay. I just wanted to make sure that this thing is actually coming through, that I've got a green light and everything's good, and it's going to Twitter, and it's going to Google, and all the other various places there. I'll do the link for Facebook in a moment. So yeah, no purple hat today, because the webcam just ain't working. Alright, but it looks like you can see Flight Sim World, so this is good. I've got it paused right now because honestly that is the least of my worries, but give me a second here, folks. Let me just make a few more last minute tweaks and then get the word out on Facebook and everything, and we'll go ahead and get started and see what DoveTail's Flight Sim World is all about. Alright, so I'm going to stop the stream, but I will be right back, like in less than 5 minutes. Or probably less than 2 minutes if I can do it quickly. All right, if I don't shut up now, I won't get started. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, folks, I am here. I am here, but you cannot see anything just yet because I am still getting this thing ready. Give me 1 second here. Holy hell, everybody's crawling in. All right, well, welcome to everybody. Okay, let's go ahead and put this damn thing on. Okay, good evening, everybody. This is Belgeode, and we are here. DoveTail Games, Flight Sim World. All right, this is the day. Early access has begun, so now we get to see what all the hoopla has been all about, and I literally have not done anything yet. You are seeing it exactly as I'm seeing it. This is just straight out the box. It's already been installed. Thank you to my brother David for doing that. Thank God for days off. That's all I can say. I had to work, so I just got home. And let me look at the chat real quick here. Hey, everybody. All right. Let's see. Yes, social media would be great if you could do that. Whatever the link is right now, that would be perfect. As a matter of fact, if you could post that, then maybe I could put it on social media as well, because yeah, there's only so much I can do while I'm doing this crap. All right. Hey, it's J-Mac Drucifer. Hey. All right, so what is DoveTail Games Flight Sim World? Well, what they would like it to be, what they would hope that it will be the successor to Microsoft Flight Simulator X. If you don't know, DoveTail Games basically owns the code now for FSX, and basically they've been tasked with bringing it into the modern age. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is what you're going to be looking at here is going to be basically FSX on 64-bit. Now, the key thing to think about with this thing, this is their starting place. Because it's early access, think of it like a beta. So, you know, this is where they're starting from. Obviously, it doesn't have everything that it's going to have in it, but they got to start somewhere. I mean, they're a relative newcomer to the whole flight sim community, so we got to cut them a little bit of slack there. So it's not going to be perfect, and I'm probably going to be very vocal and critical of it as much as the next guy, because I want to see this thing succeed. I would like to be able to retire FSX, but until this thing is 100% ready for that, you know, take it for what it's worth. And hey there, Heli Simmer. You know what? Let me say hi to everybody here. So Heart Symbol, Tony Merlot, Neil Charles, Mike Wiener, J-Mac, and Rylan Jennings and Colin Allison. Hello to all of you if you're all still here. All right, so I did say this thing was going to be viewer's choice. I already started up just a basic flight here. I'm sure you can see I put in my home airport as Rostraver, which if you've been watching any of my X-Plane 11 or X-Plane 10 episodes, you know that is pretty much my home airport. And hey there, Max El Soro, excuse me. Welcome aboard. All right, so I set up like a basic flight just to get an idea and make sure that my controls are doing exactly what I want them to do. So let me just go ahead and do that real quick. And once I get everything set up, I will have you guys pick what airplane, what destination, what arrival, you know, the whole 9 yards. So first off, let me make sure this thing still works. All right, and let me just remind you, you're going to see a lot of commonalities with FSX, because this thing is supposed to be the successor to FSX. Alright, so I'm in the Piper Cub here. Hello, Michael. And let's see, it looks pretty much like a Piper Cub, as you would expect. It kind of looks like something that would probably come out of, I don't know, Coronado or maybe A2A. They obviously did a little bit of work on it. It looks a bit more high fidelity than it did during flight school, but it's obvious that they reused some of the assets. I mean, that much was pretty much clear. Hey, Flight Sim guy, you are currently moderator, so tag, you're it. Alright, I guess first thing I need to do is make sure that my joystick works, so let's do that real quick. We'll go for a little hop. I do notice that they started it exactly the same way as they did with flight school. They put you on the runway. They do not start you cold and dark. Now, I have heard that going forward they're going to add the cold and dark start option, but I seem to recall giving that as feedback in between this whole time period here, so I'm surprised they didn't implement it already. But be that as it may, let's go brakes down, throttles up here. I should probably turn my surround sound down, otherwise it's going to be echoing like all get out. Alright, I think we can take off. Okay, so this is Rostraver, and it looks pretty much like it did in FSX. There have not been any major updates to any of the buildings or anything like that, so this is what a generic airport is basically going to look like. Trees have obviously got an upgrade. That definitely does look like Orbix trees, so I think we can thank them for that. And I am seeing some variety here. I'm not seeing as many pine trees, so that's a good thing right then and there. Alright, let me head out to the river here. Luckily I know this area like the back of my hand. So now the only downside is I'm using a Cytec X52, which means that the control system that I'm using, or the profile if you will, is for FSX. I've already modified that profile, so like all of my views are taking into consideration that I would have Easy Dock 2. Well, obviously this being a brand new thing, I don't have Easy Dock 2. And let's see, Flight Sim guy wants a Shift Z. Alright, let me see how we're doing. According to what I have set up here, it says I'm getting about 22 frames per second, but we'll see how that works. Alright, so there we go. You should see the frames per second in the upper left corner. It is vacillating between about 15 and 27, occasionally going over 31. From my understanding, there is a lot of traffic in here by default as well, so that's something to take into consideration. Let's do like a CRJ flight. Unfortunately, I cannot do a CRJ flight, as once I land, I'm going to show you all that basically what we have in this first version is just GA. There is no business, there's no commercial, there's no helicopters, there's no fighters, just a few GA. That's what they chose to start with. Alright, looks like I'm averaging between 23 and 27 frames per second, which is not spectacular considering in FSX I can get about 60. But, like I said, this is straight out of the box. I have not made any tweaks or anything to the settings. This is exactly as it is. So they probably have it optimized for my graphics card, thinking that I can handle the load. And Max, let me just see what you're saying here. Hey, Nova Wing, you are also moderator, so tag, you are it. And I do want to check out your video later, by the way. I just got to finish this up first. A Ford-class supercarrier. Well, we're not discussing DCS right now. Huh. Alright, so this is Rostraver. Again. Probably tired of seeing this airport by now. Okay, well, I will say this. I do love the landscape. It looks like the autogen is pretty much the same. I don't know. We'll have to fly to like downtown Pittsburgh to really figure out if they've done any improvements to that. Alright, I think what I will do is, instead of actually flying someplace, I'll just basically do a circuit. So we'll come back down on runway 8 over here at Rostraver, and then I will turn it over to you guys to decide what next we're going to fly. I do notice we're starting to get a little bit more stable here. It seems to be roughly around 30 frames per second, so this is okay. It's acceptable, but obviously I still need to make some tweaks. Alright, let me see if I am in position for a turnaround yet. Nope, not yet. We'll take it down to the Monongahela River here. Otherwise affectionately known as the Mob. The Mon, excuse me. Which is home to numerous mobsters. With cement overshoes. Alright, I think here's good enough. What's our altitude? Just over 2,400. Alright, we're good. We are good. I'm going to turn the surround sound down a little bit because it is a little loud. So yeah, how about that easy dock? You never know what's missing until it's gone. I could sure use it right now. Sheesh, it's a good thing I set up the hat switch. Alright, I am going way too fast here. The objective basically is to get down. So once I get down, we'll deal with the rest of it here. And then I will accept your choices as to what we're doing next. So far, yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. I mean, the clouds, they do definitely look default, but you know what? I really can't complain too much about that. I wasn't expecting Rex level clouds just yet. The lighting does seem a little, I don't know, so there's something off about it. I'm guessing there's probably no shadows. I do see baked shadows, or what appears to be baked shadows on the buildings. But I don't know. Alright, let's go ahead and put this sucker to idle. Come on, baby. There we go. That's a little bit of a bounce there. Never said I was a Piper Cub pro. Damn, how many bounces am I going to do? Alright, there we go. 3 bounces. We're good. Do I have any real-life flying experience? The answer to that is yes. I have a few hours of real-life flight experience. However, I do not have enough money to continue my flight training. Should I actually get said money to continue my flight training, then yeah, most definitely I'll get a PPL. But I don't see that in the cards anytime in the near future. Alright, so flight hours logged. 5 minutes. Nice. Yes, I do agree it is a little bit bright. Okay, so let's take a quick look outside. Let's see, outside. I did notice one thing earlier when I was setting this up. You know how spot view is supposed to smoothly transition to wherever you stop your hat switch? It's not doing that. It's acting like locked spot, which I don't know why we have 2 of the exact same view there. And I do notice, I don't know if you guys notice this as well, shadows. Where are the shadows? I don't see any shadows. So that's something that could use a little bit of improvement there. Okay, let me try a different view. Okay, well, if we go to locked spot, you'll see what I mean. It's doing the same exact thing. It's supposed to smoothly transition when you're in spot view as opposed to lock spot, but it's doing the exact same thing for either view. And if you've seen any of my FSX videos, you know I'm not a huge fan of this stuff in the upper right hand corner where it tells you your view and your zoom. So assuming that they used a similar system in the FSX CFG file or their equivalent of the FSX CFG, I'll probably be adjusting that. Alright, let's see. Holy hell, look at all that air traffic. Are you kidding me? Wow, no wonder we're getting about 17 frames per second. Holy crap, that's a lot of traffic. Yeah, is there a way to turn that down is the real question. I don't know, Novawing, you have experience with this. Do you know if there's a way to turn this sucker down? Alright, let's see what nearest tower gives us. Okay, that's kind of what I expected. Of course, there is no tower at Rostraver Airport. It's just an FBO. But yeah, that works. That's a little bit better on frames as well. Don't need a radio stack view. Okay, the rest is all standard stuff. Alright, so now that we have done that, let's see. Flight Sim Guy says hit escape. Okay, I'm hitting escape. And I'm assuming I'm going to settings. Let's see. If I were a whole bunch of AI traffic, where would I be? Surf to the configuration menu, he says. Wait, is that the same thing as settings? Because I'm in settings right now. But then you can see that a few minutes later. Let me see. Realism. Well, yeah, now's a good chance to see exactly what it's got. Of course, I created my pilot name. Credits. Yeah, I've heard that some of the big names are listed in here, like Orbex and whatnot, but that's really not what I'm concerning myself right now. Okay, so I'm in display. I see aircraft labels. That's what I see. Aircraft labels. Oh, wait a minute. I see it now. Traffic, duh. Okay. Let's go ahead and drop that down to low. We'll see if that makes a difference. And we are now loading. All right, thank you, Mr. Flight Sim Guy. I forget there's a delay whenever you live stream, so yeah, by the time I see that, look over there, I'm like, oh, okay. All right, so we are loading and we are back. And let's go ahead and hit the big blue continue. Not so sure how I feel about that, but that's just like a graphical thing, I guess. Alright, so what are we looking at for frames per second? We are now up to, well, it's balancing itself between 20 and 30 frames per second. Alright, I am going to go ahead and click off of this as well. Okay, so it looks like we have a suggestion. Mr. Miles Backer, no, there are currently no airliners. That actually brings to mind a very good point. Anthony, I'm going to take your suggestion, flying a Cherokee out of Latrobe, since it's really not that far from where we are right now. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that. All right, so we're going to go off flight planner, create new flight. Can I not do anything here? Or do I have to go all the way back? No, I don't want to quit. Are you crazy? Okay, so we're at the flight planner here. Piper Cherokee at KTEX. Ooh, you want to kill me is what you would like to do. All right, Flight Sim Guy. I see that suggestion there. Seattle or San Juan Islands. All right, we could probably do all of that. We could do some little flights here and there. And hello, Mr. Black Skull. Rainy or dreary? All right. First, I need to figure out how to change all of this stuff, because if you notice, it's kind of grayed out at the moment. And I need to figure out how to go backwards here. All right, so is there a way to get out of this, perhaps? Okay, so that is the map. This actually is something that I did like about Flight School. I'm glad they kept this. However, I still think it can be fleshed out a little bit. Like, I'd like to be able to set what altitude I need to be at. Right now, since this is only GA, obviously there's, you know, no real consideration for IFR flight just yet. But I'm hoping that we will get that eventually. All right, so let me see. What was the airport that was suggested? Latrobe. So KLBE. Arnold Palmer Regional, Latrobe. Okay. I still need to figure out how to change my aircraft, though. That is the thing. All right, so we're going to knock you out. We're going to knock you out. Can we knock you out? We can't knock you out, can we? Oh, crap. All right, let me see. Create a new flight. Yes, that's most likely what we're going to need to do. The problem is when I click on create a new flight, it's not allowing me to do that, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this here, folks. I want to figure out how intuitive this thing is. And clearly, I should have just done that, because that puts me back to the start screen. Duh. Let's see. Max has a question. How is my F-14 on Tomcattery video? It's good. I don't know if you've been watching the Tomcattery videos, but we made it all the way to Tonopah, so I've got the next one coming, but I had a slight mishap with FSX that I'm in the process of fixing. As soon as I fix that, Ali and I will be back. Alright, create new flight. Okay, this is it. This is it. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Let's start with aircraft selection. Now, you had suggested a Piper Cherokee, correct? That would be this guy right here. As I stated before, right now there is only GA aircraft. DoveTail is aware that this is not the finished product. This is their starting place. And if you look at the models, you can already tell that they probably had a good deal of help from Carenado on a lot of these, because that looks almost exactly like a Carenado model that I had. So yeah, this is the Piper Cherokee. Now the only thing I don't know is what those icons are for. And of course it just disappeared, so hold on, let me reset. Okay, developer, manufacturer, engine type. Okay, so that's how you sort the aircraft. However, where are the liveries? Are there liveries? That's the real question. I do like that it gives you all the various stats on the aircraft there. But honestly, stats don't mean much to me. I'm not a stats kind of person. What I want to know is, can I fly the purple one? That's as close to purple as we're going to get. But we want a Piper Cherokee, so that's what we're going to use. Okay. What were the weather conditions at Latrobe? Let me scroll up here and see if I can find it. Bear with me one second. I do like the fact that the sound does not disappear when you are not strolled or like putting that as your live window. Okay, Mr. Anthony, you did not select a weather, so you want nice weather? It's actually not too bad today in Pennsylvania, so we're gonna go with some nice weather. And then the next one we will do some really bad freaking weather. Alright, so let's go with springtime because that's pretty much what it is. Visibility was 20 statute miles, he says, the last time he flew there. Okay, well that's fine. We'll do rainy on the next flight, Flight Sim Guy. Aw, you enjoyed the Tomcattery series, Black Skull? Thank you so much. I absolutely love that. By the way, Thunder Down Under is currently in the chat. You will see a gentleman by the name of NovaWing24. NovaWing, say hi. That is Thunder Down Under. So yeah, we've got a celebrity in our midst. We've got two, because Flight Sim Guy's here too. And I highly recommend you follow both of their channels. Alright, departure airport, KLBE. And does it really matter where we're flying to? Because I don't think we're going to do like a complete flight. We're just going to kind of get an idea of how everything flies here. You know what I didn't set was the time. Okay, how about we go to... I suppose we could probably go to Johnstown. It's not that far. It's a Cherokee. It's got enough. Okay, so we'll set it up for Johnstown, and I'm going to press the enter, which I've learned will stop your flight plan. So there you go. Okay, I think that is what we're looking for. Is that acceptable? I'm going to assume that was acceptable. Alright, so we'll confirm that. We got springtime, clear spring day with mild temperatures. PA-28 Cherokee 180, popular 4-seat aircraft. Well, there's a surprise. And we're going to go from Arnold Palmer Regional to Johnstown. Alright, so we'll click the big blue start. And we'll wait for this sucker to load up. How about that? Okay, so for the flight after this, how about we do what Flight Sim Guy was suggesting? We'll go for some rain, some dreariness, and you want to take it to Colorado, perhaps? Black Skull, are you still stuck on that episode? That was an awesome episode. I had a lot of fun with that. And I know that Nova Wing had a lot of fun with that as well. And I'll let you all in on a little secret. The two groupies in that episode, one of them is my ex-girlfriend. I actually bribed her to come do voiceover for me. Yeah, I did notice, Mr. Breen Callahan, that there is currently no progress bar, so you really don't have an idea how far along this thing is. I think they could at the very least put like a percentage number in there. That would be nice. If they're going to stick with the blue thing. I'm still not sure how I feel about the blue thing. I know it's an artistic thing for them, but it really doesn't do much for me. Okay, so let's start. And I've been playing DCS so much that I keep expecting the camera to zoom back to my proper eye level, but unfortunately it's not doing that, so I got to do it manually. Alright, so we are going to Johnstown, which is east of here. I don't think there is a GPS in this sucker, so yeah, this is going to get real interesting. I should have checked the map. Can I check the map now? Flight planner. Okay. See, this is where there are areas of opportunities. If I don't have a GPS in the plane, I have no idea what direction I'm supposed to be flying. So we could definitely use something on this screen to kind of give us more flight planning options. If you know what I mean. All right. Let's see. What does it say here? 26 nautical miles away. Estimated flight time 14 minutes. Fuel quantity, cruise speed. But it doesn't tell me which direction I need to go. That's a problem. That is a problem. Alright, but I do know that we are currently heading almost north. So let me see. We'll take off and we'll figure out which way we're going to go here. What are you, a woman? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Flight Sim Guy? Dude's on crack. Alright. Here we go. Brakes down. Throttles up. Let's see how ye old Cherokee flies. Something about the sound on this one seems a little off. The Piper Cub sounds like a Piper Cub regardless, but this guy, I'm not so sure on. We have landing gear on this thing. I guess it's non-retractable. Alright, flaps are up. Yep, just go east. Pretty much. Alright, well, which direction am I headed currently? North, so let's go east. Probably would have helped if I took a look at the runway number as I was driving over it. Compass says we are headed 060, so I'm going to do one of these numbers here. Don't mind me coming through. Alright, so they definitely do get bonus points for the autogen scenery. In particular, the trees. Vast improvement over flight school. Thank you very much. You're going to get some mad props for that. I appreciate that, because I'm a big tree-hugging hippie type person, so go over the ridgeline. I intend to do that. I probably could have gotten my radio up. See, this is another reason why we need a cold and dark setting, because if we have a cold and dark setting, we can go through the process ourselves and figure out what needs turned on and what can stay off. Because right now, you'll notice I have no radios, my autopilot is not on. Of course, there's no GPS or anything else set up here, so pretty much I am hand flying this. Yes, trees are by Orbix. This is true. Oh, he means do I sound lost? Well, I'm sure I do sound lost. See, if this were X-Plane, I would be looking at ortho scenery and I'd know exactly where I am. But you know what? I'm not even gonna worry about it right now. Alright, that's interesting. I just pulled the throttle back just a touch and you hear the difference in the audio. Oh, what's up with that? Disabled Gamer, did you purchase Flight School? Because if you purchased Flight School, you should be able to download this thing right now. If you did not, it is going to be about 25 bucks. Hey, there you go. Just added me to friends list. Hi, Disabled Gamer. Welcome aboard, sir. Avionics on, just use the mouse to turn on stuff. Oh, really? Damn, see, what would I do without you, Flight Sim guy? You should be in the cockpit right next to me here. Alright, let's see. Can we turn you on? Okay. And I should probably set my heading because it looks like it wants to do a thing here.
Tower, Piper, November 5082, Zulu is 11 miles south with whiskey to land.
Okay, well.
November 5082, Zulu Tower, fly left base, runway 32, altimeter 2992.
You do hear that, right?
Runway 32, Piper 82, Zulu.
You are hearing this, right? The ATC coming through my headphones here. That was a big bugbear that I had with Flight School, so we're gonna give points off for that one because I'm still not really happy about that. But this is the start, so I know that they have plenty of time to modify this. Alright, I don't know why that thing is popping up here, but I'm gonna press D so that way it'll go away. And yes, Disabled Gamer, that is 100% correct. If you have Flight School, go ahead and download Flight Sim World. You get it free of charge. Yeah, that was a big complaint, was the ATC voices in Flight School. It's going to continue to be a complaint. I mean, that's just my personal opinion on it. I don't know, maybe you guys like it, but I think that's kind of a bit of a step backwards. And I know that they put a lot of time, effort into this, and I'm not just there to poo-poo all over their stuff, but it can be done better. It sounds a little bit weird. I'm sure you probably figured out by now that Allie is not a real person. She is a computer-generated voice. It fools most of you guys. Most of you guys think Allie's a real person. So Allie sounds better than the ATC that I'm hearing in here. Yeah, that should tell you something right there. Alright, Anthony, if you can get GPS working to Johnstown, VOR is 113. Hey, that is a good call on your part. Alright, let's see if we can zoom in and get this thing working here. Okay, that's on. That's on. You know, I should have done all this crap before I took off. Okay, so we want nav set to, what was it, 113 even? Just do this. Alright. That's 113. Oh, come on, don't even. There we go, okay. 113.0. Bam, active. Hey, look at that! Now it says we're going away, which is not correct. I need to change this. Good thing I learned how to do that VOR flight, huh? Okay, so we are currently heading basically due east. Okay, so we are a little to the left of it. We should be about 95. Oh, really? Huh, the text-to-speech is interesting and quite adaptive, NovaWing has found. Can I tell if the land class has changed from FSX? Vectors, rivers, and so on and so forth. Well, right now I'm flying over what I consider my home area. This is southwestern Pennsylvania. This is essentially what it looks like. This is definitely what southwestern PA looks like. Now, with that having been said, I don't know if this is a custom mesh.
Clear to land. Runway 32.
And Piper 82 Zulu, please shut up while I'm trying to explain something. Oh, dear Lord.
Piper 82 Zulu.
Where the hell are they? I need a stinger. I'm gonna shoot them out of the sky. Sheesh. Alright, let's see. We needed to track a little to the right, so since I've got this sucker on autopilot, I'm gonna go ahead and swing us over this way a bit. Okay, and let me take a quick look at chat. Disabled Gamer, there are, what was it, about 7 or so GA planes available, either single or twin engine planes. I will take a look at it again once we land and get it all sorted out here. Now wait a minute, isn't there a DME in this thing? Somebody tell me real quick if there's a DME in this sucker. Alright, that's the ADF. I'm not seeing a DME. Unless your eyesight is better than mine, folks. Okay, how about we turn that on? Can that not turn on? Why is that not turning on? Transponder's on. We're squawking 1200. This is good. There are no helicopters as of yet. Okay, so for those of you who are just coming in, let me just fill you in on what we've got to start with. And please bear in mind, this is to start with for the early access. We only have GA. That's it. We only have GA. We've got some single engines, we've got some twin engines. Like, for example, we're in the Piper Cherokee. There's also like the Piper Cub, so on and so forth. There's the Diamond Twin Star. So pretty much everything that you got in flight school, it's in here. And then they've added a few extra planes. Now, they are going to be working on commercial traffic. They are going to be working on helicopters, and presumably they're probably going to add some military aircraft, even though DoveTail has said time and time again that they are not a military sim. And they don't want it to be a military sim. Alright, now one thing that I should mention as well is that my frames per second are dipping. They're dipping a lot. Right now it says I'm down to 16 frames per second. I do not know why that is. Okay, I still need to find this DME. I would imagine it's literally right in front of my face, but as is often the case with me, it could be right in front of my face and I will still miss it. So let me see. We've got comm, we've got nav. Is this it here? And if so, why is it not coming on? No, that's the ADF. So then what the hell is this? That's another ADF. Are you kidding me? So I've got 2 ADFs and I can't find a DME. What in tarnation? Okay. I'm going to change the heading a little bit because it says we need to be tracking to the right. Otherwise, I will never find Latrobe. Yeah, that GPS would sure come in handy. As a matter of fact, GPS shortcut used to be what? Shift 1? Hey, look at that. Fancy that. How about them apples? Okay, well, now that we've got that, we're going to hit the CDI, set that to GPS. And where's my autopilot again? I'm going to set this sucker to nav, and we're going to do this easy way. You are learning this as I learn it, folks. Okay, I've got the nav on. Are we tracking in the right direction? I think so. Yeah, I see something moving here. 2017 nav data and Navigraph capable. Presumably, everything is updated as far as navigation. NovaWing, you may need to help me confirm that. From what I had heard from DoveTail, it sounds like they're starting with current information. So like the approaches, all the various waypoints and whatnot. This is all supposed to be based on like 2016, 2017 information, whatever the latest one is. As to whether or not it's going to remain that way to where, you know, you can just automatically get it updated, that's a whole nother story entirely. And that I am not 100% sure on. Alright, let's see. Distance, 5 nautical miles. Should be tracking 093. Oh, hell, we're here already. I'm gonna slow down. Oh, wait, there it is. Airport's right there. Well, hell. Alright, so GPS. I'm not gonna lie, folks. This GPS looks a little sketchy to me.
Zulu, exit runway when able.
Okay, Piper 28 Zulu, you do your thing, buddy. Alright, I'm going to put the GPS down here. And how's about we turn off the autopilot? Okay, so Latrobe's directly ahead. So what I will do is see if I can get the weather. Let's see. To nearest airport list. Radio Gaga. I just got an achievement for this. Nice.
Next taxiway.
Where's my airport? There it is. Here it is. Merthyr, Johnstown. Okay. Alright. Choose an option for tower. Okay, what options do I have? I got nothing. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. The ATIS. Can I please have the ATIS?
Airport information. Tango. On 7 on 3 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility greater than 20 miles.
Okay.
Sky condition clear. Temperature on 5 dew point 5. Altimeter 2
Okay.
ILS runway 33 in use.
Okay.
Landing and departing runway 33 EF.
Okay, so runway 33 it is, so we need to be heading south, which I believe is the direction that we are headed right now. And then we'll turn around and come in and land on that runway off to our left there, and that should be good to go. You know, I have not checked my outside views in a while. What is that? That is top-down view. Okay, so clearly none of my buttons are going to work until I make adjustments accordingly. Go ahead and close that. What if I do that? Oh, what is this? Oh, here's a GoPro view. I'm basically just cycling through the views right now. Alright, there is our runway, so we're going to swing out to the right a sec here. Slow down, lose a bit of altitude, turn around and come in. And in response to your question, Mr. Black Skull, yes, I do have intentions of doing some Star Wars at some point in time in the near future. I wanted to hold off until after I come back from Flight Sim Con, since that's going to be the major event of the year. So myself, Flight Sim Guy, and Novawing 24, all three of us are going to be at Flight Sim Con. We're going to try and get as much information as we can from DoveTail, from Laminar, and from Lockheed. And we're going to bring all of that information to you before I sit down and actually start doing some more Star Wars episodes. But yes, it is coming, and I know I'm now woefully behind. Cycle through secondary views. Okay, I will do that momentarily. There's our exterior view. At least I don't have to worry about landing gear. It's fixed. Alright, I'm going to see if I can close out this ATC window here. There we go. I just came back. Are you kidding me? Go the hell away. Nobody likes you. There we go. Done. Alright, we're familiar with that. And we're also familiar within the background how everything has not spawned. Are you kidding me? Come on, give me something here. There we go. Okay, so how's about we turn around and bring it in, and then we'll work on the next area. GPS is still on. Okay, let's turn that off. We don't need that. Frames per second are still currently in the crapper. I am averaging about 20 frames per second, which is no bueno. I'm guessing there are an awful lot of trees, and since we do know these trees are by Orbex, well, that tells you everything you need to know right there. Orbex trees are known for clogging up some FPS. See, look at that. I'm trying to turn gently, however, I'm overcompensating for it. Why? Because I'm down to 18 frames per second. I can show the FPS. Give me 1 second. There you go. Upper left corner of the screen, you should see it vacillating between about 14 and 22 frames per second. To me, that is no bueno, especially on my rig, when I know my rig can get an easy 60 frames per second. But, as I explained earlier, this is straight out the box. I have not made any real tweaks to this. I have not made any adjustments to the setting. I just went with whatever it told me to go with. Alright, now please bear with me because I'm gonna come in to Latrobe, or to Johnstown, excuse me. And then we'll get ready to head to Telluride. I believe it set the graphics automatically on high. It looks like most of them were just shy of ultra. I don't know why that is the case, but I can only imagine that ultra will probably eat my rig alive. And I don't want to jinx myself here, but I haven't had any out-of-memory errors. That's the sound of me knocking on wood. Why am I coming down so fast? I'm landing at 120 knots. Holy crap. Okay. Well, this is gonna hurt. Okay, we're down. Probably should have put the flaps out too, don't you think? Wouldn't be too surprised if I've got a flat tire right now, but that's okay because this is a first look. Am I going to slow down? I'm trying to. See, this is why I need you in the right seat, man. Believe me, I'm trying to stop here. All right, there we go. I think we got it. I think we got it. And yes, it is still definitely too bright for my taste. Asphalt should not look like this. This should be a little bit darker. Alright, I got brakes. You know what? Right here is good enough. So, there we go. Alright, so Mr. Anthony, there we go. We went from Latrobe to Johnstown in the Cherokee. So you have an idea as to how that flies and some of the features that it comes with. As you can see, it looks pretty sharp. That's why I'm pretty sure that Caronato probably had a hand in this, if I'm not too mistaken. This is fine. I like stuff like this. But, again, it all goes back to, at least for me, I need it cold and dark. I need to go through the entire startup procedure. That way I feel like I'm more prepared. Obviously, this is just first look, so it is what it is. Alright, Mr. Max, here is a question. Do you like Star Wars game? If yes, can you give me a review on Special Forces TIE Fighter? Are you kidding me? That is like ancient. I don't even remember playing that one. But I have played almost every Star Wars game that's ever come out over the years. And Mehmet, here's a tip for you. Disable the ground object shadows. It should help. That is a very good idea. We did not actually check to see what all is in the settings. So let's do that right now before we get started on the next flight here. Alright, so settings, display. Well, let's start with we'll go through all the settings one by one here, just so you have an idea what they have. Alright, so we'll start with the general settings, air traffic control. This is your standard stuff. Show the ATC menu, which shows up in the upper right. Auto open it whenever someone's talking to you. We already know that. We're used to that with FSX. Use the pilot voice, which I always have off because I like to say what it is I'm supposed to be doing. I don't need a voice to do it for me. And then unit of measurement. Pretty basic stuff. A lot of it should look similar to what they had for flight school. Alrighty, Disabled Gamer, thank you so much for watching and hope to see you soon. And don't forget to grab your copy of this game, since you are entitled to it for free for having purchased Flight School before. Okay, so next menu, display, and we are looking for what? We were looking for the ground shadows. I don't see ground shadows on here, so I'm not sure what to tell you. But as you can see, I've got everything on high except for traffic. Traffic I've got to low, and actually now that I hear the ATC voice, we're going to set that sucker to minimum. Graphics could stay there. Okay, anisotropic filtering, bilinear, trilinear. Okay, that's all the same. You can see which graphics card I'm using. I'm using an ATM Radeon RX 480, which is definitely capable of using its full potential, so I'm easily getting like 60 frames for FSX and stuff like that. Anti-aliasing is on. We can leave that on because I don't have a setting for this in the Radeon menu as of yet, so there's no point in my even changing that. Labels, I always have them off. I can't stand labels, so yeah, that's pretty much a given. Enable windscreen raindrops. Alright, we have that. That's fine, because we're going to be going to where it's raining right now. Audio, standard stuff, exactly what you would expect, really doesn't change. Controls, again, this all looks pretty similar to DoveTail Games Flight School. So you've got your axes, you've got your null zones, and so on and so forth. Right now it is only geared towards GA. Obviously, when we start getting into things like helicopters and whatnot, we might want to play around with that, and I don't know if they're going to have any way of saving your settings, because really, if you're flying a helicopter, you don't want too much in the way of null zones or curves dealing with that. But pretty self-explanatory. You can calibrate, you can change all the buttons and settings and everything. Basic controls, all events, simulator events, the stuff that you're used to seeing basically. You can change everything. Axis controls, you can determine which axis you want. Now I do something different, just so you're aware. I do not have rudder pedals and I have no plans on getting them. So since I use the Cytec X52, I have a little knob on the throttle, which is the side knob. You'll see it's highlighted. It says X rotation. That's what I use for my rudder. So basically it's a thumb wheel. That's the easiest way to think about it. And it works fine for me, so I don't see any reason to change it. All right, realism. Pretty self-explanatory, just like FSX. You got your realism settings, so you could turn that up, you could turn that down. Right now I've got everything exactly the way it's shipped, so I'm not even sure which is considered most realistic and which is considered less realistic. But I'll probably go through that later after I'm done live streaming. Let's see, I guess we do have settings that we could do here. Easy, medium, hard. All right, let's go to hard and see what it says. We're going to keep it on hard because we're going to go into rain. Okay, and yeah, I'm looking, but I'm not seeing this ground shadows thing in here. And I was commenting before that I didn't even notice an airplane shadow, which FSX has that. So, I don't know. I imagine that's probably something that they're still working on. Auto mixture off, unlimited fuel off, stress damages engine. Yeah, we're going to make it real challenging here. Profile, also self-explanatory. You put in this information so it remembers you. Now, that kind of goes hand in hand with this thing here, the DoveTail Games Live. They hinted at what they want to do. They basically want to create a multiplayer environment. To me, it sounds like they want to turn Flight Sim into an MMORPG. I don't know if that is exactly what they mean, but I will ask them next month when I see them in Connecticut. All right, and then of course the last thing is credits, which we already know. Okay, so that's all the settings that we have there. And of course it's going to load us back up in free flight, even though we were just sitting on the tarmac. Okay, Mr. Flight Sim Guy, I believe you had suggested some rainy weather flying in Telluride, K-Tex, if I'm not too mistaken. Let's see if we can do that. Free flight completed. I landed in Johnstown. Well, that's good to know. That's very good to know. Can I go now? Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, so we're back here at the flight planner and we can start a new flight. So, what aircraft am I going to be using for this Telluride flight? Somebody pick an aircraft out of the choices right here. We've got the DA-40 Diamond Star. We've got its bigger sister, the DA-42 Twin Star. Piper Cub, I don't know about that. We were just in this guy here, the PA-28 Cherokee. Seneca 2, or Seneca 5, excuse me. Malibu Mirage, or RV-7A. Okay, so Mehmet has suggested a DA-42, which is good because I know that's got a G1000 cockpit, and I'm praying and hoping that they made it exactly the same as they had in flight school because I know how to use that sucker. I've actually used one in real life, so yeah, I'd be okay with that. Okay, I'm seeing 2 votes for DA-42 and 2 votes for Seneca. Since I would be the tiebreaker, I want to try a multi-engine thing. I hope you don't mind. I want to try a multi-engine thing. Alright, so weather conditions. We want it to be Armageddon. What are we looking for here? Major thunderstorm or gray and rainy, or do we just want fog? Or we could do building storms, which means it could rain at some point in time, but it might not be raining when we start out. Alright, how's about we go with this? Oh wait, click on config. Well, where the hell is config? Oh hell, they've got more stuff. Look at that. Look at that. There's more stuff down there. I did not see that. Where's my active sky next? That's what I'm really looking for. Gray and rainy. Okay, we're gonna go with that. Gray and rainy. Click on config. Ah! Thank you very much. Okay, so visibility currently set to infinite. Why, if it is rainy? Time and season, let's make it more interesting here. Change the local time. We'll make it like a nice evening flight. There we go. Not too dark. 5:30 is fine. Now, here's a $1 million question. Is there a way to link this to the current time? That would be awesome. However, I am not currently seeing that. And it says November 2017, which is great. We can go flying on my birthday. There you go, November 18th, 2017. Provided I live that long, I will be 47. Yes, I know. I'm old as dirt. Alright, clouds coming soon, wind coming soon, temp coming soon, visibility coming soon. Okay, clearly they're still working on this stuff. Not a problem. Alright, departure airport, KTEX. I usually set the local time, but I don't really think it matters that much because it's going to change once we put it to KTEX. Since right now my home airport is in Pennsylvania, which is on Eastern time here in the US, but KTEX is in Colorado, so that's like 2 hours behind me. So there we go, Telluride, Colorado, which from what I hear there is some great skiing out there. However, you will never find me going skiing because I will bust my ass. Alright, so from KTEX, where do we want to go? Ah, I have an idea. Why don't we go to... Where the hell is it? Oh, it's around there somewhere. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it either. You know what I'm looking for, right, Flightsome guy? Oh. I know it's around here somewhere. Aspen, where are you? I need you. Leech. Oh, you know what? I think it's up here somewhere. There it is! Aspen Pitkin Airport. Okay, how about config for the airplane? You know, that's a damn good idea. That is a very damn good idea. I like that. Alright, let's back up. So we've decided we're going to Aspen. Let's go to config. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. See, this is why I need you guys, because you're helping me out. This is my first look at this thing, and I was not kidding. This is literally a first look. Okay, quick edit. What can we do? We can add fuel. Alright. Yeah, let's do full fuel. Let's get a little bit of payload here. Pilot and some crew. You guys are officially the crew. Failures, we're not even going to touch that. I'm not ready for failures yet. Okay, what's going on here with the fuel? I thought I filled that. Isn't that what that last window was for? Okay. Okay, this I don't quite understand. Why they have these if we have a quick edit, unless the quick edit overrides everything that we do there. Okay, so here's our liveries. Looks like we've got two. Blue Stripe and Wings Flight Academy. That's it. I'm gonna go with the American registration. And it does not appear that the hat button will allow me to go around the aircraft. That would be a good thing if they would enable it so that you can get a complete 360-degree view of this thing, but I'm like pulling it with the mouse, I'm trying with the hat buttons, and nothing's happening, folks. Nothing is happening. Alright, so we'll stick with the blue. We'll go back to quick edit. We'll put some more fuel in there. Pilot and cruise. Okay, are we good? We're good. Okay, so that was config. That was config. Thank you very much for that, Michael, because honestly, I saw the config button and it didn't even dawn on me to try it. So, yeah, that works. Alright, so folks, we are going from Telluride to Aspen, which is really not that far away. However, it should be an interesting flight nonetheless because there's a lot of mountains and I set it with a lot of rain. So let's load up. Try this one. In the meantime, if y'all can think of another location and plane that you would like to do, then after we land on this one, we'll go ahead and do that one. I think what I'll do, at least for this live stream, we're closing in on an hour right now. I'll probably do this for a couple of hours. I think that should be enough time for you all to have an idea as to what Flight Sim World offers. I still have to dig deep and figure out what settings I can change before it's optimal enough for me to actually start recording episodes with it. But I just wanted to make sure that you at least understood, you know, what it is that we're dealing with here with this new Flight Sim. And it is very much a work in progress. It's a good starting place, but obviously there's a lot of areas for opportunity, which we've all seen and pointed out throughout this little live stream here. Most notably, where's my percentage thing, or at least my bar that says how far it's done loading? I'm drinking a little water here. Oh, wow. Okay, let's go start. Alright, I do not like the menu bar showing, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Altimeter is not set. There we go. I'm sorry for my disturb because I have to go watch Navy show on YouTube. Alright, Max, well, I appreciate you coming out and checking this out. And I will definitely be putting up some more videos, and I'll let you know when I got some new stuff going. So, if you haven't already, don't forget to sub. Alright, let me see what we have here. Now, since we're dealing with the G1000, I'm gonna have to set some stuff up here. Alright, we definitely do not want this set at 9200. We want to go a little bit higher than that, so... Can I clicky? Here we go, we can just mouse wheel it. Alright, Flight Sim Guy, you've been to this area before. Do you remember how high these peaks are between here and Aspen? I'm going to set it up for about 17. There we go, 17,000. I'm hoping that's going to be okay. Yeah, the airfield, this is pretty high up. So yeah, as far as power, I'm not doing this in a Piper Seneca. I will die. I need 2 engines for this sucker right here. Okay, so we have altitude set. I'm not going to worry about speed. I'll control that manually. Let's take a quick look outside. I thought they had a woman in this one. Did they get rid of the woman? They got rid of the woman. They put the dude in there. I kind of liked having the woman in that one. So there you go. DoveTail, bring the woman back, please. I liked her. And when you put her back, please make sure she's a redhead. Thank you. That is all. Okay, so this is our tower view. This is our outside fixed views. Let's go through that. Looks like they kept all of that the same. Oh, it's coming. You know it's coming. You know that brakes down, throttles up is coming. Alright, back in the cockpit we go. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and give us flaps 1, because I think that will help. And I do not know if the GPS is pointing me in the right direction, but before I take off, I definitely want some topography going here. And some traffic, even though we shouldn't have too much in the way of traffic right now. Yes, Mehmet, you're absolutely correct. If they simulated the atmospheric features such as air density, this is a very good suicide spot. So, folks, if I die, blame Flight Sim Guy. Brakes down, throttles up. Oh, look at that. She wants to roll. Okay, baby, roll. No, don't roll off the runway. Just roll. We're good. Okay, so this is runway 9, so we already know that we are heading to the east. And holy hell. Why am I sliding off the runway? Okay, let's see if we can lift off. We're up. Barely, but we're up. Alright, let's get rid of some drag here. Gear up. Holy hell in a handbasket. You trying to kill me, man. Some more of those default airport buildings there. Okay, flaps up. Do you even lift? Yeah, I'm working on it. Unfortunately, this aircraft does not seem to want to. And where's my rain? I thought we were promised rain here. I did select rain. Okay, so I know the direction we need to be heading, but there is no way in hell we're going to make it over these mountains like this. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to backtrack a little bit while still going up. This area is notorious. Just like you said, this is a suicide area. Yeah. If you are not careful, you will end up as bug splat on the side of a mountain. I'm not about that life today, folks. But on the bright side, my frames per second seem to be going back up again. Not by much, but it's going up. Yeah, I am not in the mood to go to hell in a handbasket today. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I do have this sucker on full throttle, and presumably I have full rich mixture. You can see the engine temperature, or the oil temperature, is actually getting up there. So I'm hoping we can at least get to altitude before this thing decides it wants to conk out on me. Alright, this is starting to look good, so I'm going to go ahead and swing us around to the right, and we'll start tracking where we should be tracking. You know what I just realized too? I think part of the reason why we do not have any rain is all the rain clouds are literally below where we are right now. You can see one off in the distance if you look real quick to the left. Telluride, as you saw, the elevation's almost 10,000 feet, so yeah, I don't think we're going to be getting much rain today. Be that as it may, we're going to continue moving out. Okay, this is the direction we need to head in. I'm going to shallow us up here a bit. And we'll go ahead and set up the autopilot. Okay, autopilot, we're gonna go ahead and turn you on. And nav, we're gonna turn you on as well. Let's see if that does a trick. Okay, can we go up? What's our highest feet per minute there? Alright, let me hit VS sometime before I hit this mountain. Okay, now I did hit VS, but I do not appear to be gaining altitude. What is wrong with this picture? We're gonna do this sucker manually is what we're gonna do. Oh yeah, that's right. CDI needs to be set to GPS. Probably help if I could actually see what the hell I'm doing here too, so. Alright, I think that's our CDI. There we go, GPS. Okay, first things first, we need to get over these mountains. So how's about we do that? Oh boy, this is gonna be close. I'm gonna swing out to the right here. Something tells me I might live longer if I swing out to the right. So let's just do that real quick here. Okay, I think we got it. I actually think we got it now. Wow. But on the bright side, we're starting to get on course. Okay, now maybe we can try this autopilot business. Okay, let's go U, let's go nav. And our altitude is right about 12,000, which works for me. I'm okay with this. And yes, that was extremely close. I missed the raindrops on a canopy. Well, no crap. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get through this mountain pass without dying here. I think that was a little bit more important at that point. Alright, so let's take a quick look around the cockpit here. Taking pictures while I'm at it because it's a Kodak moment. Just had a brush with death. I feel like I should have a Kodak moment right now. This is the mountain that almost killed me. Okay, so we are on full throttle. I'm going to go ahead and pull it back here so that way my oil gauge doesn't hate me. And let's go back to outside view. Ah, yes, my favorite, flyby. See, I would have thrown this entire damn game out and probably flipped my coffee table if they did not have the flyby view as part of this flight sim. So kudos to DoveTail for including the flyby view. Because seriously, it could have been ugly. Alright, so there we go. We're in spot view. And it's still not working exactly the way that I would like, but that's okay because I need a title shot for this live stream once this thing is officially recorded. So there we go. I'm doing a Kodak moment right there. Alright, good deal. Good deal. Okay, so what else can I show you about this thing? I mean, obviously, if you have flight school, you're probably familiar with this. This was the airplane that we got, the free airplane, the only upgrade, or the only add-on, I guess you would say, that we got out of flight school. It is now considered standard with this thing. In-flight meal will be livery and onions. Onions, nice. Nice, okay. Alright, so I guess I'll open it up to you guys. What do you think so far from what you've seen? Bearing in mind where this code originally came from, it's FSX, it's obviously updated. But what do you think about this thus far? Do you think it is worth your 25 bucks? Or more to the point, would you be willing to support them as they continue to make this thing better? Because obviously, as far as I am concerned, we've got a portion of a sim here. We do not have a complete sim, but Honestly, they didn't lie to us about that. They said it was going to be a work in progress. Me, I need helicopters. I need helicopters. You know I need helicopters. And I also need an F-14 Tomcat. Dino Catania, I'm talking to you. So yeah, until I have those two things, I will not be 100% happy with this flight sim. Is it a good start? Yes, I think it is. I think it's way better than Flight School currently. But yeah, this is where we are going to come in. We're going to need to give a lot of feedback to them. And I am going to be mentioning this to them when I see them. I would like to have a lot more changes done to this, and I know that they are planning on that, but they're going to need to really, really rely on the feedback that you and I provide to them if they want this thing to be successful. And yes, the whole third-party developer thing, right now that's still up in the air. I am gathering questions for my interview with them. I do have it scheduled to have an interview with Stephen Hood while I'm at Flight Sim Con. So yeah, I'll be getting some answers to that and a lot of other questions. But in the interim, if you can think of any burning questions that you would like to ask, when this video goes up as an archived video instead of an actual live stream, please feel free to write your questions in the comments, and I will make note of them, and provided I have enough time, I will ask them to Mr. Hood when I get a chance to talk to him. But yeah, that whole third-party developer thing, there needs to be a bit of clarification with that, because without the third-party developers, this thing's kind of dead in the water. I'm just saying. I kind of want to have Dino Catania on board so I can get my Tom Kitty in this thing, but, you know, that needs to be a thing. And that's all hinging on DoveTail and what they choose to do on that. Alright, frames per second are starting to go up again, slowly. I still have not hit that magic bullet yet where it's back to giving me 30 and higher frames per second. So, at least from my perspective, I'm going to take some points off DoveTail for the whole frames per second thing. I'm glad that you're doing the 64-bit. That's awesome. But if I can't average 30 frames a second, it's gonna annoy me, because I had to deal with that before I upgraded this computer. This computer is now a beast. It should be able to handle that easily. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to tweak files, you know, to actually get where I want it to be, but right now, as you're looking at the screen, it is about 28, between 21 and 30 frames per second is what I'm getting right now. Mr. Gale, Mr. Mike Gale, that should be the answer to your question. Yeah, that is definitely true. Mehmet says that third-party add-on support is not today's subject, or it should be a priority for DoveTail Games. I can imagine that your stream would be nothing more than a slideshow with PMDG 737. You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. And yeah, that's not our major concern right now. I know that's a big hot button, but this is just the first look. I want you to see what I'm seeing. I want you to learn as I'm learning. Is it worth it? I think it's worth it. I think it's a great starting point. Does it need a lot of work? Hell yeah. But we're not going to solve that issue today. Sir Topper67 asks, what does a file structure look like? I do not know as of yet. I literally came home from work, decided to do a live stream because my brother graciously had the day off, so he went ahead and hooked up Steam and downloaded everything for me so that I could do this for you. But I will be taking a look at the file structure, and I will be doing further videos on this, like a second look and other subsequent videos as things go on. And I'll be discussing all of that during those videos. So as soon as I figure out what the file structure looks like, I will let you know. And I will say this, I am notorious for tweaking my flight sims. It doesn't matter which flight sim it is, I am notorious for tweaking it. If you've watched any of my videos, you probably know that by now. Mr. what is it, Catalysis? Yeah, I think that's how it is. Says it looks like a remix of FSX. Yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah, you're right. Part of the reason why I think they did it this way is because they're still a relative newcomer to the whole flight sim thing. Don't get me wrong, they've got the train simulator. That's like their major thing. But as far as Flight Sim, they only recently took over the code, like within the last couple of years or so. Well, I guess probably about 3 years, because I think they originally bought it back in 2014 or something like that. So yeah, that was their starting place. Other than that, they really had no idea how to do a flight sim. This was virgin territory. And Stephen Hood even admitted last year at Flight Sim Con that prior to him getting this job with DoveTail, he'd never even thought about the prospect of doing a flight simulator. So yeah, they're learning as they go along, very much so. And they're relying on a lot of what Microsoft did how many years ago. We all know it's old code. We all know that it could be optimized. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been tweaking it for like the last 10, 12 years. You know? But yeah, it is supposed to be an update of the Microsoft ESP. Where they go from here is anybody's guess. And honestly, I would like to see them take the training wheels off and do something different. But before they get to that, they need to give us a stable sim with all of the components that we asked for. Do I think that FSX SE support will end? No. I think that there is a large enough portion of the community, myself included, that still loves FSX SE. They would be fools to stop support for FSX SE, at least until they know for sure that everything can be ported over to this and that we have a full flight simulator. I still think the FSX community is going to go on for a little while, the same way the FS9 community still goes on. And I don't know if you guys really realize that. A lot of us here, you know, we're used to using FSX or P3D. Don't forget, there's still a bunch of people out there that still use FS9 and are very happy with it and have no intention of upgrading. I'll let you in on a little secret. When FSX first came out back in 06, I was one of those people that continued to use FS9 because I didn't want to switch over just yet. So it took me like about 3 or 4 years into FSX before I finally was like, okay, you know what, I'll break down and do it. And the only reason why I did do it was because they had made me the CEO of the VA that I was in at the time. I was with US Air Virtual. I was their CEO. They wanted me to get in on the whole FSX thing, so finally I caved and did it. So there we go. Alright, I did miss one question. Eric the Trekkie asked, do they have good AI traffic, if any? Let me tell you something about AI traffic in this flight sim. This is what we've got. I turned the traffic down to the bare minimum. So right now it's giving me a whole bunch of Cherokee 180s, which presumably are all different colored. I don't know. Let's take a look at one. Well, there's one. He's currently just sitting there. Let's see what the second one looks like. He is also currently still sitting there. How about the third one? Hey, fancy that. Hey, this one's got a woman in there. Oh, wait, didn't the last one have a woman in there? I don't even know. Oh, this guy's actually flying. Let's see what he's doing. Oh, he's got a woman there, too. Wait, is he driving on a hill? I don't know what the hell is going on here, folks. This dude's chilling on the side of a hill. So, Eric the Trekkie, there's your answer. This is what AI traffic looks like currently in DoveTail's Flight Sim world. We're going to leave them to do their little thing out in the wilderness. You know, don't ask, don't tell. I've got nothing to do with that. Whatever they want to do with their aircraft in the middle of the wilderness is entirely up to them. I just hope they take video because I'd like to put it on YouTube later. Alright, what did I miss as far as chat? It's like addiction. A friend of mine has a pretty good setup, but he can't stop flying on FS9. That is 100% correct, yes. And you'll notice, at least from me, I try to be a little bit open about the various sims. Like I do DCS whenever I've got that combat bug itch. I do X-Plane because honestly, when it comes to helicopters, that and DCS are my go-to. DCS more for combat stuff, X-Plane because it's got helicopters that DCS doesn't have. But as far as realism, both of them, to me, are on par. FSX, obviously, the Tomcat, that's my major thing. That's why I'm still here with FSX. I do like my GA planes, but I'm probably going to be doing a lot more X-Plane as far as GA goes. Airliners, I don't do anymore. I'll be honest with you. I do not do airliners at all. I spent 2 years as a CEO of the VA that I was telling you about earlier. I'm freaking done with airliners. The only time you'll ever see me in one is if Flight Sim Guy, who is the moderator in this chat channel right now, if he decides that he wants to do a shared cockpit and wants to have me in as a co-pilot. That's the only time you're ever going to see me in an airliner. But yeah, 9 times out of 10, it'll be either a helicopter or a military plane or GA. And let me just remind you, there are currently no airliners in this flight sim. We only have GA. That will change. We don't know when. Alright, Flight Sim Guy was mentioning something earlier about circuit breakers. Oh wow, look at that. I am mousing over the circuit breakers right now, and it's giving me the names of them. So presumably, if I were to click one, I would turn off whatever system that circuit breaker is controlling. Is that what I'm getting here? Okay, so we've got a fuse bus here for the avionics. What happens if I click it? Don't click it, Bell. I'm gonna click it. Don't click it, Bell. Nothing happened. Avionics are still on. Or did I miss something? Let's go ahead and push it back in. Okay. How about the autopilot? What happens if we take the autopilot fuse out? Which, let me give you an idea of where that is. Okay. I really miss Easy Dock. Where's my Easy Dock 2? Okay, so the one on the far right side where the mouse is right now, this is supposedly the autopilot fuse. Let's go ahead and push it out. Holy crap! Wow, we actually did lose autopilot. Alright, let me go ahead and turn this back on before we get killed here. You're going to find this rather odd, Mr. No Name Nomad, but there is currently no Cessna 172 that I can see with this. Oh, you were referring to the airliner mountain landing, Dracton Tube. Good point. Good point. Yeah, I'd like to see them try that, but I don't want video of that one. That would be horrible. Alright, how far in the hell are we from our destination? Let's see, range. Oh, that's zooming in. I want to zoom out. Okay, well, what's my distance here? Distance, 49.3 nautical miles. Okay, we're good. We're good. Let me give it a little bit more gas here. Because of the high altitude, this thing is struggling, so I'm going to put it back up to full throttle, and eventually we will make it to Aspen. That is going to be hell, let me just tell you. If you've never done the Aspen approach, might I highly recommend you try it in any flight simulator that has done it justice. Yeah, it is a pain in the butt. Okay, so this actually brings to mind another good thing here. I'm loving the fact that it's becoming nighttime because in a lot of ways I tend to judge a sim by how they do nighttime. You all already know that I'm very biased towards X-Plane when it comes to nighttime. In my opinion, nothing does it better than X-Plane. I'm really curious to see how they pulled that off in this, however. Especially since Orbix is involved. Have I leaned the mixture? I thought I did. I don't know, I could be wrong. Let's see if we can find the mixture settings here. We can't. Why? Because it's nighttime. It's our fuel selectors, the throttles, you know, it's parking brake. Well, what the hell? Where the hell is my fuel mixture? I don't know. But I do know I need some lights up in here, so... Whoa! Okay, well, that was dramatic. Not quite sure what that was all about, but yeah. Yeah, Mehmet, I'm inclined to agree with you that nothing can beat X-Plane as far as night lighting goes, but I would like to see what they can pull off, especially since Orbix has, you know, said that they've got a pretty hefty hand in all of this. I would imagine they would probably lend their expertise to this. And yeah, I'm not seeing any mixture controls here. That's kind of weird. I thought it did have. Boeing 727 Janet from McCarran to Groom Lake. I would love to be able to do that. However, there are no commercial planes at all in this. Watching me flying those birds is relaxing. Well, thank you, I think. Alright, so let me see. We've got Aspen coming up, and it is approximately 41 miles. So yeah, we're too far to get the ATIS right now, so we're not going to worry about that. Frames per second are going back up. Yep, about 27. Well, spoke too soon. It just dropped to 18 again. Lovely. And I just realized No Name Nomad is my good buddy Austin. So hey, Austin. Well, see, I want to go back a bit in the chat. Benjamin Casey said, hope the community backs this. Still no X-Plane, but at least we have another developer trying to keep this platform alive. I agree, wholeheartedly. I think competition is really healthy for this community. Of course, the downside to this is we as consumers end up spending a lot more money because, you know, we need this sim for this sim for that, so on and so forth. I'm a prime example. I just told you. When it comes to combat, DCS is the only way to go. So I'm going to spend money on things like the Tomcat and the Hornet and the Harrier and any of the other stuff that's available. I still haven't yet gotten the Mirage, and that's something I want to get. But by the same token, you know, I've got X-Plane where, you know, there's some phenomenal helicopters coming out, and there's some great GA. Carinado's bringing all of their stuff over eventually. So yeah, that's more money to spend. I want to see what DoveTail can do in this regard once they have this thing complete, because as far as I'm concerned, this is not complete. But once it is complete, I want to see what they can do to push the envelope, which will of course get all of the third parties and all of the competition basically, you know, trying to get a bigger market share. That's ultimately what it's all about. They want to make money, same as the next guy. But everybody's got to challenge each other. And, you know, I'm not here to give you like a speech on economics, but suffice to say, if there's more competition, they're going to be more inclined to take more risks and do more interesting stuff that we, the general public, would like to see. Right now, I am enjoying the view as well, Black Skull. Eric the Trekkie, I'm not going to do Miami to Tampa, and I'll tell you why. Having done that trip in real life, you're talking about a couple of hours in an aircraft like this, and yeah, I don't really want to be sitting there for that long. It's already about an hour and a half into this live stream. I really only wanted to do it for about 2 hours. So I would say, since we are almost to Aspen, we probably have time for a short hop. So if you can think of something that I can do in a GA aircraft in about 30 minutes or so. I don't mind going over a little bit, but to be honest with you, I haven't been feeling all that well today. So I really didn't plan on making this like a 4-hour live stream. Just saying. Are there reflections from the strobes and lights against the aircraft? And I'm sorry I'm behind on the chat here. I've got everything split across 2 screens, so it takes me a little bit to go back and forth and, you know, make sure we haven't crashed or anything. But in answer to your question, yes, they did in fact put that in. Let's see if we can see it. Let's switch to the outside view. Now for this particular aircraft, it does not look like it's got a whole hell of a lot, but I do recall seeing some of the other aircraft where if you're sitting there on the runway or on a taxiway or something like that, yeah, you've definitely got light reflection. And you can see, if you look close enough, you can see that the cockpit light is reflecting. But I think because this model was basically ported over from flight school, I don't know that they've done any optimization for it at all. So it's a little bit lacking. But from my understanding, the Cherokee and what the heck was the other one that we just saw? I'll have to wait until we land to show it to you. But yeah, some of the other aircraft, yes, they do have reflections in there. One thing I am noticing, just switching from plane to plane, however, there's currently no uniformity with it. Each plane has like its certain high points and low points, and until they actually make everything like one uniform standard, that could work against them. Because depending on who likes to fly what, I mean, you might just take points off for the fact that this thing doesn't really have a whole hell of a lot of really good reflections, whereas the next plane in the series might. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let me see. What do we got here? MiG-15 to Tonopah test range. Yeah, only if I'm doing that in DCS. It's not going to be done in Microsoft. Here I go again. In DoveTail Games Flight Sim World. Please don't shoot me, DoveTail. Damn. Watch. I'm going to meet up with them in Connecticut. They're going to be like, you call this Microsoft. Come here, sucker. I'm going to kick your ass. No. Alright, how about a quick tour of the iconic Seattle area? That is a good idea. I think we can do that. I think we can do that. And I might want to set it up for like maybe, I don't know, just after morning time or something. So we get that good lighting going on and we can actually see if they did in fact bake in ground shadows. Because I remember that was a question a little bit earlier in the stream. So yes, I like that idea. And I'm sucking on some water right now, so if you're hearing all kinds of weird noises, that's what it is. You would be able to see it, except my webcam is not working right now. It does not want to work, so sorry, no purple hat today. But I am still sucking on some water. Okay, let me take a quick look at this. If I go Shift 2, will that pop open? Exactly what I need to see. Alright, perfect. Which brings to mind, what I would like to do here is select an approach. Before I do that, though, can I, at very least, get into some ATC action here? Nearest airport list. I need nearest airport list. Case, that's the one I'm looking for. ATIS, that's what I want. F-14 cross country, but buzz every tower. Yeah, if I were in FSX, sure. Unfortunately, I'm not in FSX. Okay, am I just not hearing things right, or do I not have something set right here? I am not hearing our ATIS at all. Let's try this again. Okay, tune tower. Ah, here we go. That's what I was missing. Not 100% intuitive. That's a big thing with me. I like when things are intuitive. I like the pretty colors. I'm glad they used green. They need to throw some purple in there, but let's get some ATIS going. Still not hearing ATIS. What's wrong with this picture here? Alright, let's close this out here. I'm not even getting it popping up across the screen. What is up with that? Huh. Okay, well, truth be told, this is Aspen. There's really only one way to get into Aspen. If you try to get in the other way, you might as well kiss your butt goodbye. So yeah. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and select approach. So let me open this back up. I do realize there are mountains coming up, so hopefully I will not land in those mountains like that one GA that we had before. Alright, procedures, select approach. Are you going to give me my approaches or what? Select approach. Ooh, this is interesting. They are not loading the approaches. There should be a couple of approaches here. Not seeing it. Okay, that's no bueno. So then my previous question is actually negative. They do not have everything that they need as far as navigation and so on. Alright, we're gonna need to come up off the autopilot here because that mountain is getting awfully close. Okay, we're currently heading north. We're gonna need to head to the south to get in. And Dracton Tube, you are probably right. Aspen ATC only has one weather, freezing balls. You have information, bravo, love it. Austin, sorry to let you down, buddy, but yeah, there is only GA currently in this flight sim. As soon as they add in some beautiful military planes like the Tomcat, hint, 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 then we'll go ahead and fly all over creation with that. However, it looks like DCS is still our best bet for that, provided, of course, they give me my Tomcat this year like they promised. They did promise. Alright, landing gear or landing light should be on. Let me check outside again. Yeah, I'm not liking the night lighting so far. I mean, I realize we are in an area where there's literally nothing out there, but so far I'm not a huge fan of the way that night is looking. I think that is an area of improvement. Alright, and I'm starting to lose a little bit of airspeed here, so I'm going to shallow us up somewhat. Yep, it is definitely cold and dark. Not exactly the way I was looking for, but I guess beggars can't be choosers, right? And look at that cloud. Do you see that cloud off to the left? That is an FSX thing. That is a leftover FSX artifact that I don't think they did anything with. That's kind of weird. Okay then. There you go, Dovetail. That's another area of opportunity for you. Fix your crooked clouds. Crooked cloud is crooked. Alright, how far away are we? 9.5 nautical miles. Runway is going to be off to the right. I do know that there is the red table VOR directly ahead and a little bit to the left. Do I think they will add volumetric clouds? I think if they want to be a serious contender in the flight sim industry, they seriously need to think about that. Because we still have Rex, and we still have Hi-Fi or High Fidelity. It would be nice if something like that were considered stock. So I'm hoping that they're either going to partner with said companies, or they're developing something that will include volumetric clouds. Yeah, from my understanding, this thing is currently using DirectX 11. I have not looked under the hood, but I was led to believe that not only is this 64-bit, but it is now using DirectX 11, which, don't get me wrong, that's fine. Okay, that does work. But it all depends on what you're putting in there. If you're putting exactly the same textures, exactly the same limitations, then that's not really progress, is it? Or as my grandfather used to say, you can polish a turd, it's still a turd. Don't get me wrong, I'm not poo-pooing on this flight sim. I'm just saying, you know, you get in or you get out what you put in. So I would definitely like to see them pushing the envelope a little bit more. This is a great starting point, but what I would love to see, like a couple years down the road, is all of this replaced. Clouds replaced, textures replaced, and have them come up with something that's so absolutely phenomenal that even Austin from Laminar Research has got to be like, oh crap, I need to step my game up here. These DoveTail guys are going to whoop my butt. That is what I would love to see. And again, that goes back to what we were saying before about competition. Competition is what makes things progress. Think about World War II as an example. Were it not for the fact that, you know, all the powers involved in the war were in competition with each other, we really wouldn't have the state of aviation the way it is now. And for our in-flight dessert, we'll be having the poo-poo platter, says Dracton too. Yeah. I will not be having that first, though. I'll tell you that. There will be no turd polishing on this flight. Insert serious question about DoveTail's flights. Okay, well, I'm waiting. Go ahead, Austin, hit me. Meantime, let's see if we can see the airport. I was around there somewhere. This, incidentally, is Allie's hometown, is Aspen, Colorado. So, yeah, doing this without her, it's going to get interesting. Oh, but I think I see a runway down there. Is that a runway? It's definitely a runway. Okay. Still not 100% sold on these sounds, this audio. Alright, let's see if we can swing ourselves around here. Current weather in Aspen, crappy. Kind of like current weather in Pittsburgh. It's a little bit cloudy out there. Okay, let me take a quick look outside. Alright, there's our runway. There's our airport. And pretty much nothing else is visible. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Wow. That's just nuts. Alright, so let's hear it for atmospheric scattering. And in a few minutes it's going to be some bell geode scattering, because I can't see where the hell I'm going to come in on this one. And there's no approach, because apparently the navigation database is incomplete. I know there's a mountain over there, so I'm going to try and avoid that at all costs. And I'm going to also put us down here. Yeah, I know, I'm flying this thing like a fighter jet right now because I would just like to get it on the ground so that we can head to Seattle and do something different. But hey, look at that! I'm on a glide path. I'm on a glide path. I don't suppose they installed speed brakes on this sucker. Highly doubt it. I need ILS. Yes, I do! And I'm pretty sure that the real airport has ILS. Unfortunately, I do not, and it is windy, so I'm going to have to crab this sucker in after I can't see where the heck I'm going, and I'm already coming in too fast. I'm way above flap speed. Holy crap, are you kidding me? Alright, you know what? Let's drop the gear, because I know the gear can handle this. Seriously? I blame Flight Sim Guy. This was his idea. This was definitely his idea. Okay, so now we get to answer the question as to whether or not there is ground illumination. Let me just flare a little bit here. Holy hell in a handbasket. I am currently off the runway. But hey, at least we're slowing down. You need an air sick bag. I need an air sick bag, and I'm the guy flying the damn thing. Okay then. Wow, that was quite possibly the worst landing I've ever done, but it does highlight something extremely important that I need to mention. Nighttime currently sucks. I will not mince words on this one. Nighttime currently sucks. I am not a happy camper with this. Not at all. Not at all. But we are going to come to a stop here. Eventually. Yes, I need a GA tail hook. Oh my god, Austin, why didn't you install the tail hook? You're supposed to be my ground chief, man. Seriously. This is nuts. Alrighty, Black Skull, thank you so much for watching. And I do appreciate it. We'll catch you soon. Runway lighting is, in my opinion, right now, non-existent. I don't know how this can constitute as runway lighting, and let's just take a quick look outside and see if the landing lights are doing anything. That's a bit of an artifact. Why am I going into the ground there? That should have been clipped. Okay, so we can see the FSX dust or snow or whatever that's supposed to be. There's our landing lights. And I keep going into the ground here. Landing lights are doing nothing. Alright, so DoveTail, yeah. Massive, massive, massive area of opportunity right here. Nighttime sucks. There is no way to mince words on that one. Nighttime sucks. That needs major improvement. So we'll go over in more detail what all can be done. From all appearances, AJX-47, it does appear that the runways are flat, like FSX style. I mean, look at the runway lights. There's no variation in the elevation of them. So yes, my assumption is everything is flat. However, what we're going to do now is we're going to head to Seattle. I'll change the time, so we'll go back to like a morning time thing, and we'll figure out a different weather and a different aircraft to use. And then that will be my last flight for the night. Alright, so there we go. That's a little bit of nighttime. And as I'm looking at the playback on YouTube right now, yeah, I'm sorry, DoveTail. I can't back you up on this one. That looks like crap. That really does look like crap. Alright, but I'm sure they'll fix it. This is only the first day, and there's a whole hell of a lot of opportunities to go. Alright, so let's go ahead and quit. It says I did not land at KASE. Why? Because I pretty much landed on the grass in between the runway and a taxiway, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. It's just a first look. Also, I did not have Allie to yell at me, so there we go. Okay, so we're back here again. Aircraft selection. As you can see, here are our choices. I'm going to go through them again. Diamond Star. The bigger sister, the Diamond Twin Star, which is what we were just using. The Piper Cub. The Cherokee, which we used on a previous flight. The PA-34 Seneca. Malibu Mirage. And RV-7A. This is it. These are all the choices that we get. There are no helicopters yet. There's no commercial planes. There's no military planes. All of that stuff is coming. The only thing that's not been confirmed as of yet is military, because DoveTail has said from the get-go they're not really a military sim. However, I think if we, the end user, put enough pressure on them, they might actually bring military aircraft into it. It might just be the same way they've done with like Vertavia, where they've got like no liveries or anything, but I'm pretty sure they can do it. Right now, I'm not gonna lie to you, AJX, yeah, it does kind of look like a 64-bit FSX. There are some marked improvements. Like, if you look at the way these aircrafts are currently shimmering, yeah, that is definitely a bit of an improvement over what we've been used to seeing. However, here's where the points come off. Currently, you can't move this. I'm attempting to move it, but it's not moving. This is early access, and Novawing just said it. It's like he read my mind there. This is early access, so everything that we are seeing here is going to be subject to change at some point in time. That's where we come in as a community. It's up to us to give the feedback, the proper feedback, and to, you know, give the suggestions and so on. They'll evaluate and figure out what they can do, what they can't do, and hopefully it'll spur them on to basically push the envelope and provide something that we all can be happy with. Because ultimately, they don't exist without us. You know, we're the guys that are going to end up buying the flight sim. So if they're not giving us what we're looking for, then basically, you know, there's no point even being in the business at that point. Hey, is this still live? Came on when I was at work. Yes, as a matter of fact, I am live, Tomatau. And I was just about to choose an aircraft for my third and final flight for this evening. We've already decided that we're going to go to Seattle, and we're going to like tour around Seattle area, but we just need to figure out which aircraft I'm going to do it in. So, you have your choices. Please tell me what you would like me to fly while I suck on some water. And Cuban SC, yes, you are correct. By the end of the week, they should have a ton of feedback. But that's just the thing. You got to keep the pressure on. You're seeing it in its most raw, basic form. This is how we get things to progress, is by giving them constructive feedback. I tell you what, and this kind of pissed me off a little bit earlier today. I'm just going to wax poetically while you guys decide on what aircraft I'm going to be doing here. While I was at work, of course, this thing went live. This thing went live around noon my time. I'm on Eastern Standard Time here in the US. Not even 10 minutes later, I'm already seeing on Facebook forums people bitching for the sake of bitching. Oh my god, it's pure garbage, blah 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 blah, it's an FSX clone, so on and so forth. Listen to me, folks, and if nothing else, I want you to take this home from this live stream. That does not help the developers. Telling the developers their product is shit and leaving it at that doesn't do a goddamn thing for them. And I'm sorry for my language, but that's how passionate I am about this. If you really want to see the change, now is the time to do it. Instead of telling them, oh, this thing's a piece of crap, don't waste your money, tell them what they can do to improve. For example, over the last 10 minutes in this chat, we had mention of the fact that the runways are flat and that the runway lighting could use changing. That's feedback. That's the kind of stuff that they need to hear. Hey, what can you do about changing the way that the runways follow the terrain? What can you do about improving the lighting or the reflectivity of the lighting on the aircraft? Make sure there's a normals. That's feedback. That's the kind of stuff that DoveTail Games needs from here on out. So whether you do or don't decide to purchase this thing, if you feel like down the road it might be something you might be interested in, maybe you should go to like their Facebook page or something like that and offer them suggestions like this. FSU IPC, that has been a pretty big beef, but it is my understanding that something like that is going to be incorporated in this. I don't know if it is already incorporated into it. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to look under the hood. But from my understanding, that is the reason why they decided not to go with FSU IPC, because the functionality should come in there. Alright, I did see someone said Cub, Cherokee or Seneca. Well, I did a Cub first. I did just a little, what do you call that? A pattern, traffic pattern with the Cub. That was the very first flight that I did. So I could probably do the Seneca, or I could do any of the others. And here's the other thing you need to remember with FSU IPC too. Yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that it does, but one of the major reasons why we had FSU IPC was to do stuff like the tilt rotor, which you've probably seen a couple of my episodes on the tilt rotor. Some of the unusual aircraft. So we really won't know for sure if it's got that functionality in there until they start adding aircraft like that. Well, I don't know. I mean, we could get into the politics, but, you know, I don't really want to get into that aspect of it. This is the first day of the product, and obviously it's got a long ways to go. My point to you is, let's help them. This is where we come in. We are the end consumer. We know what it is we're looking for. Let's help them with that. All right. So did we decide whether or not we were going to go with the Cub or the Seneca? Well, we did the Cherokee already. We did the Cub. You know what? Alright, I'm kind of curious to see how the Seneca works. Alright, so we've got the Seneca. And we'll just keep it in the default setup here. Weather conditions, well, let's see. This is Seattle, so we're probably going to want to deal with a lot of fog. Or maybe we should go winter. From my understanding, winter, the snow has not been updated. Only the rain has been updated. I really kind of want to see the rain. So maybe we should go gray and rainy again. I don't know, what do you guys think? I'm going to go with gray and rainy. Light rain. I really want to see that rain that was advertised. That is a cool thing. Okay, so we want Seattle. Where in Seattle? Because I know that we've got quite a few little airports. All over the place. Okay, here's the Seattle area. Now, I highly doubt we're going to be seeing like some of the more popular Orbix airports like their Friday Harbor and so on. Okay, we'll pick an airport. Let's go with good old KC. And where are we going to go? You know what I'm looking for, right? You don't even have to ask. I just need to remember exactly where the hell it is. I know it's around here somewhere. Oh, sweet. I will be watching your review, Flight Sim Guy. And I still have Mr. Nova Wings that I need to watch as well, so I know what I'm going to be doing once I'm done live streaming here. Alright, seriously, where in the hell is Friday Harbor? Are you kidding me? I know it's around here. Otherwise, I'm just going to fly to Portland, Oregon, because I'd rather go there, to be honest with you. Fly by the Space Needle. Alright, you know what? We'll go north. And let me see, what was this? This is Whidbey Island Naval Air Station. Yeah, we'll fly there. Why not? Why not? I'd rather be doing this in an F-18 Hornet, but it is what it is. Okay, so we ready? We're gonna go from KC to Whidbey Island. And along the way, we'll pass by the Space Needle. So there we go. Now we're loading. I do like the music. The music is a little bit chipper. I did see there are other music options that they have, but I haven't listened to them yet. I'll probably do that after the fact. Fly to K-Boy. Hell no. Not in a GA. Dude, you don't... We need like a faster aircraft to be able to get there in decent time. I'm not planning on live streaming for 5 hours tonight. No. You want a 5-hour live stream, go watch Cat's Trader. Although his are actually entertaining for the 5 hours. No, I'm just kidding. He's never done a 5-hour live stream. At least, not to my knowledge. I know Ranger 79 has, and he's also pretty good. I recommend that you follow all these guys that I'm mentioning, by the way. These are the guys I watch when I'm not making videos or doing live streams. Flight Sim Guy, Nova Wing 24, Frugal, of course, Ranger 79, Cat's Trader, Gorilla Me, definitely follow him. And Devil Dog Gamer, he's actually been getting back into the simming as well too, which I think is really cool. Alright, so here we are in sunny Seattle. It is daytime. I forgot to set it to morning. Son of a... Oh, but look at that! Look at that! We've got rain. Oh, let me take a better look at this because this looks pretty. Okay, that flying tip thing, that needs to go. I'm going to tell you that right now. That needs to go. But look at that. That's actually pretty good. That is really good. However, that is the good news. You want to know the bad news? Look at my frames per second. 15, 17, 18, 15, 16. That's not good. So yeah, it does look absolutely amazing, but yeah, I'm not really liking that frames per second there. Let's go outside and see if it changes any. Okay, we're currently outside and my sim appears to be frozen. It is definitely frozen. It is not responding. Okay, there we go. Now it's back in action. That was a little bit scary there for a second. Okay, so you can see we have no shadow on the aircraft. It almost looks like there wants to be a shadow. I'm seeing what appears to be a shadow, but it's just not in the right spot, so it's not showing up properly. And of course, we've already established the fact that default weather could use a little bit of work because, yeah, we understand that it's raining, but where is it coming from? And then, of course, there's this little clipping issue under here. So yeah, these are all technical things that they can fix. But yes, it is definitely there. And remember, this is essentially a beta. So beta is beta. Just remember that. Alright. Let's go ahead and take off. So we are heading north towards Seattle. Alright. I don't think I'm going to need flaps because honestly this runway is freaking huge. Oh wait, they've got me heading south. Why do they have me heading south? You know what? I'm not even going to ask. Alright, let's go. Yeah, it feels like it's only raining on me. That's interesting. Alright, here we go. I figure I'd forego the brakes down, throttle up, because we've already done it. And it dawned on me I probably should have paid closer attention to those caution and warning lights before I took off, but we're just gonna go with it anyway. Alright, we're airborne, but we're still in the red. Go ahead and drop or raise our gear. Oh, I'm sure I could probably do a hard left brake 50 feet off the ground to get back on course. Yeah, I'm sure the tower would love the hell out of that. As a matter of fact, I think I can do that. Except I'm going to go out to the right. Alright, quick look outside. Let's hope the sim does not freeze. Now this looks familiar. This looks like FSX Autogen here. So yeah, this is very familiar. Alright, that's the direction we need to go. That is downtown Seattle. So far so good. And I do notice that as far as the distance that things are loading up, it does seem to be very similar to FSX and P3D, where things only load up after a certain distance. I've got a lot of autogen, so I may actually start tweaking around in the FSX or the FSW CFG to see if there's a way to tone down some of that autogen. Because as much as I love having the houses there, I really don't need that many of them. Alright, so let's get back in here and we'll see if we can trim this thing out. Clearly it's not that trimmed. The sound does seem a little bit abrupt to me. That is a very good question. I'm not 100% certain which Garmin this is. I know it is a Garmin, but I am not 100% certain which one it is. I do wish this thing would let me trim it, though. I know that in the center there should be the Garmin 430 or the 530, one of the two of them, because that's the same one that we have in X-Plane. But as far as the PFD, MFD setup that we're seeing here, that I'm not 100% certain. I'd have to research that, which I do not feel like doing currently. What I would like to know is, why am I not getting trim? Are you telling me this thing has no elevator trim? Come on, it's GA. It's got to have trim. Okay, looks like we're hand flying it then. Alright, so how's about we have a little bit of fun since we're hand flying this thing? I see a wharf up ahead. I don't need to tell you what happens next, do I? We're gonna have a little bit of fun with this. The Space Needle's directly ahead. So I'm thinking we can probably go say hi to the shipping vessels and then go pay the Space Needle a visit on our way out. Whee! Yeah, this does kind of look like Seattle. Recognize those stadiums. Alright, this is a Kodak moment here. There we go. Land on the wharf. That does not look long enough for me to land on. Aside from which, I don't know if that is actually a solid terrain. With my luck, it probably isn't. Trust me when I tell you, my luck is like that. Okay, well, we're not redlining, so that's good. And everybody say hi to the ships. Hi, ships. There they are, fully loaded with stuff made from China. Or made in China. Hey, except for that one. That one's got oil. Dang. It's a shame this isn't a Tomcat. I would be doing this inverted. What it is, what it is. Alright, let's go ahead and get some throttle action here. We'll go downtown, then we'll head to the Space Needle and see if we can orbit it real quick. I'm thinking this is probably highly illegal, but yeah, this is about to be a thing. I do kind of want to see the downtown buildings, so I am here for a reason. I want to check out the significant autogen to see if it's actually any decent. I gotta say, the textures do look pretty decent. I like that. Definitely like that. Alright, Space Needle, we're gonna get a quick picture of you. And what the hell is that? What is that on the ground, that red and yellow thing? What is that supposed to be? I have no clue. But there's your Space Needle, folks. If you blink, you might miss it. There's me turning around. And why does it look like my door is open? Did you see that? Hold on a second. Okay, now it doesn't look like it's open. Or is it? You're seeing this, folks, right? It does look like my door is open. And yet, it's not. Curiouser and curiouser. Okay, then. Alright, so there's another shot at the Space Needle. I'm just taking pictures at this point here. Wow. Well, just to be on the safe side, yeah, everything looks like it's closed from the inside, so I don't know what the story is. That was weird. That was very weird. And then my other concern as well is what zoom level are we in on this PFD here? Why I cannot see my flight plan. Oh, that's why. We're like all the way in. I thought I did check the door to make sure it was locked. However, apparently I did not. But that's just the weirdest thing. It only appears at that one angle. See, let's look at it again, now that I'm more stable here. Alright, so here we go. This is locked spot view. You can see it in the upper right corner there. All doors are closed. And nearest tower view is currently locking onto us from a tower that's really not helping me to prove my point. Passenger seat 1. Hey, I like this view. I can get used to this. As long as I don't have to pay attention to the gauges, we should be fine. Alright, and back to the pilot's view. Okay, so here in the Pacific Northwest, I'm not 100% convinced on the weather. But actually that brings to mind a very good point. Hang on a second here. Can we change stuff in mid-flight? No, we cannot. In a perfect world, this little config button here, we should be able to just change that on the fly. Let's say we wanted it to be even more torrential and more hellacious. We should be able to do that. So, DoveTail, mark that one down. There's some more feedback for you. We'd love to be able to change stuff in mid-flight. Alright, but now that we've established that, let's continue our journey to Whidbey Island. Probably help if I put my hand back on the stick. Okay, how far do we have to go here? 44 nautical miles. Okay, well that's not too bad. It's not too bad. I'm not sure what's going on with the audio here. It seems to me like it's cutting in and out. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But to me, that's what it seems like. And apparently I'm going in a completely wrong direction here, so we're going to hang a right. Have I seen the movie Airplane? No, I have not. And good luck to you. We're all counting on you. Over, under. Yes, of course I've seen Airplane. Come on, man. I was born in 1970. Yes, I've seen Airplane and Airplane 2, and I think there was even an Airplane 3, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I've seen them all, man. Some of my favorite movies. Any chance we could be getting a Piper Tomahawk in the game? That's a very good question, and unfortunately I am the wrong person to ask that of. But, I tell you what, I will take said question with me to Flight SimCon, and between myself, Novawing, and Flight Sim Guy, one of the three of us will ask them. And yes, I was kidding, guys. I have seen Airplane many, 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 many times. It happens to be one of my favorite movies, aside from the Star Wars trilogy, the original trilogy. Okay, are we heading the right way now? Yes, we are. I see numbers getting less and less. This is good. This is very good. Alright, now I am hand flying this thing, so I am thinking I should probably put on the autopilot. Do I have this thing? Oh, it's on V-lock again. Son of a... Alright, there we go. Probably help if I turn this on. Why you no turn on? It literally says sys 555X knob affecting nothing when I mouse over this thing. So it's literally not working. Huh. That's interesting. Why is my autopilot not functioning here? That's not good. Want to see that tail wobble in a stall? Well, you know, I can do a power on stall here. Especially since this thing won't trim for me for some ungodly reason. Yeah, let's see if we can do some kind of a stall here. Alright, I'm just going to let it do its thing. It's going to get a really high angle of attack. We'll go to the outside. That way we can verify that it is in fact doing what it's supposed to do. I'm also going to put the Shift Z so that way we can see the speed. Right now it's at 93 knots. If anything, it looks like it's trimming itself out. I'm not seeing a stall as of yet. It's gaining airspeed. Okay, that's curious. Alright, let me try with the power off. Okay, throttle's down to 0. Your engine is losing power because the mixture is not leaned correctly. Can we get rid of the flying tips, please? Alright, I'm going to try and keep the nose up as much as I can. Let's get some of that buffet here. Okay, I'm starting to see a little bit of wobble. Let's go outside. As you can see, I've got the elevator full up. We're going down. But it's not wobbling to one side or the other. It's just dropping like a pancake right now. So, take that for what it's worth. I'm trying to get an idea how maneuverable this guy is. I know he's GA, but gotta be able to do some kind of fun stuff with it. And is my door still open? Can anyone see? See, now it looks like it's closed. What in the hell are you doing with me here? This damn thing. Okay. We'll continue on our journey. have to exceed the angle of attack of about 18 degrees. Here's the problem with that, Mr. Tomato. When I did that just now, I had this thing pegged all the way to the back. What it did was it suddenly dipped itself back down flat, even though I still have like full back pressure on this thing. So it's not emulating what it should be emulating. If I were to try that in X-Plane, yeah, it would have done a wing over, and that would have been all she wrote for me, more than likely. But yeah, from what I'm able to see, at least with this aircraft, obviously we haven't tried it with any of the others. This one, not quite so sure about stalling on this one here. Doesn't seem to want to do it, which I know it should. Believe me, I'm very good at stalling aircraft. Alright, I'm going to try it again here. This time with power on. Yeah, see, it's almost like it's automatically just trimming itself. Well, the only thing that we did notice, I will say, was that little buffet, which, yeah, that could be the precursor to the stall. But even when I still tried to push it beyond that point, it still wasn't doing it, so I don't know about that. Do not know. Alright, I'm going to zoom this sucker out. Okay, so we're about halfway into our journey here, and I'm going to get us out of this almost stall here. I still need to figure out why my autopilot is not autopiloting. So let's see if we can solve that real quick here. Let's see, this is the comm. I would assume this should be for the autopilot, however, it's not doing anything. Oh, and it's still complaining that we're not leaned properly. Yeah, that is strange. That is definitely strange. I've got the nav hold on. CDI's on GPS. Do I know anything about the FA-18? Well, what would you like to know about the FA-18? I saw a couple of them over the weekend, plus I've got a few videos up of the F-18 in a couple of different sims. And Razorblade, yeah, you're correct. It does look better. I would say it looks probably about twice as good as DoveTail Games Flight School. You can tell there's definitely been some improvement. Does it have a ways to go? Yeah, I think so. But again, let me just remind you, that is where we come in. We gotta give them the feedback. We gotta, you know, basically help them along to create the sim that we are looking for. That is exactly why they gave us this early access thing. It's not a thing of, hey, here's your finished product, give us 25 bucks. No, this is meant to be an evolution here. And the only way it's going to evolve is if they know what we, the general public, want. So, there you go. And Tomato, no, it is not due in 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a joke. For those of you who don't know, in DCS World, well, I'll back up a little bit. How it originally started, I forget exactly which aircraft it was. One of the ones that Eagle Dynamics was working on. They were asked when it was coming out. At the time, they thought it was ready, so they said it's coming out in about 2 weeks. Well, come to find out, 2 weeks came and went, no aircraft. So they revised it, and they started telling us it was coming in 2 more weeks. So that kept going on, and eventually the community got wise to it, so now whenever someone asks, when is the next XYZ module coming out for DCS, the answer is always 2 more weeks. That's the running joke. But truth be told, we have no idea when the Hornet is coming. The only thing that has been said was they wanted to try and do it before the end of 2017, which we're in, what, May right now? So obviously they've got a little over half a year to pull it off. I think it is probably going to be more likely that we see something out of either Heat Blur, the maker of the Tomcat, the F-14 Tomcat, or Razbam, because I know Razbam has been updating us pretty much every day on their progress with the Harrier. One of the two of those may come before the DCS Hornet, the Eagle Dynamics Hornet, because we really haven't even seen how far along they are with the Hornet. But we kind of have an idea how far they need to go with the Tomcat. I think they were still working on the interior, the cockpit. They haven't done any of the skins yet, but Razbam has actually beat them to the punch. Razbam has actually started working on the skins for the Harrier, so we might just see the Harrier first. You never know. Time will tell. Unfortunately, Eagle Dynamics will not be at Flight Sim Con. I do have confirmation that they're not planning on coming out, so I won't be able to ask them when I get there. But you can bug them on their forums. Just saying. I couldn't tell you when they're going to release it. It could be within the semester, it could be outside of the semester. Fortunately for me, I've been done with college for years now, so I don't have to worry about that. All I have to worry about is can I get home from work in time to actually play the damn thing. I think I see our destination up ahead. We are still losing power in the engine because it's not currently lean. Well, let's see if we can fix that. Can I pull you back? I can pull you back. How about you? I think DoveTail could take a lesson from Laminar Research with X-Plane. Make it so that there is a click area where you can drag both of these down at the same time. That would be very convenient. I haven't heard anything about an A4, to be honest with you. As far as Zuni rockets for the Hornet, I'm going to tell you something about the Hornet. If you caught the video that I posted Monday, Hornetry in the Hills, where basically I was using that mod, one thing I can pretty much tell you is whatever we get from Eagle Dynamics, you can go off whatever loadouts they currently have in there for the Hornet, which of course the mod developers were able to utilize when making that mod. And I can just about guarantee you that's what we're going to get. So whatever they can use, whatever they can do, that's what we're going to end up with the DCS mod. Because remember, they're giving us the Charlie model, which is the original Hornet, basically. It's not the Super Hornet or the Rhino. We're going to be limited by what they can give us as far as loadouts, and they already have the loadouts in there, the models in there. Otherwise people would not be able to come up with mods like they have been. I would love to see an EA6B and an A6. That would be awesome. I'd love to see all the Navy jets, but unfortunately, you know, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think we get what we get, and if we're lucky, within the next couple of years we might get some more interesting stuff that we can play with. Razorblade, yes, I just read what you wrote, just for the purpose of recording it here. Razorblade says, I love them, talking about DoveTail, for giving people who pre-ordered Flight School a free copy of Flight Sim World after they dropped further development of Flight School pretty early in the process. Just have to download. Yeah, you're absolutely correct, and I've said it before. In fact, there was an article that Novawing, myself, and Sergio from Helisimmer put out, I want to say it was last week. I don't even remember what happened yesterday. All I remember is the air show this past weekend. But basically, we were going over that aspect of it. I think that that was a brilliant move from the point of DoveTail Games. You've got your ready-made beta testers right there. And let me repeat it. I know I've said it throughout this entire live stream. I'm going to continue to say it. This is a beta. Do not treat this as a finished product. I'm seeing a lot of hate on like Facebook forums and so on and so forth, where people are treating this like this is the end result. This is not. This is only the beginning. They're going to need our help. So that was a really good faith measure that they did, giving this game to us as, you know, a freebie basically for having purchased Flight School. I think that just goes a whole long way to developing brand loyalty, basically. Joshua Stevens asks, what do I think of DCS World 2.0? I love it. I absolutely love it. There's one thing I do not like about it. Sand. The sand, it gets everywhere. I feel like freaking Anakin Skywalker every time I get in there because it's nothing but sand. But I would like to do some more DCS 2.0 videos at some point. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get to that because right now a lot of the stuff that I'm working on is for DCS 1.5.6 open beta. I did notice that the Vegan is now on the regular DCS server. It's no longer just on the beta server, so I might switch over. But yeah, every now and then I'll try to throw in a little bit of DCS 2.0. I don't know if Flight Sim Guy is still here, but I know he's been working on DCS 2.0, so if he wants to do some group flights, we can definitely do that. Or even Mr. Nova Wing, I know he's got DCS as well, so... Yeah, I haven't seen Steam as of yet, David, so I really don't know how much hate has been going on there, but I would not be too surprised. People love to bash stuff, and I think in this instance, it's undeserved, because, I mean, they haven't tried to pull the wool over our eyes. They've told us this is exactly what it is. It's an evolutionary process. We knew from the get-go, this isn't the finished product. This is just the starting place, you know? So, you know, it is what it is, and you get out of it what you put into it. It's all going to depend on how patient you are with DoveTail and how much you're willing to work with them. Because I don't, personally, this is unprecedented. This would be like if DCS said, hey guys, I'm thinking about doing, you know, like the next theater and the next aircraft. Give me some ideas what you want to do. That's essentially what we're facing right now. I mean, granted, we've got the basis here. We're already seeing like the blueprints for what it is that they want to put together. But they also need our help as far as, you know, figuring out what aspects of various things we've always loved over the years through FSX and whatnot, and how to incorporate them into this. That's what I think is going to happen. And Austin, yes, I did see your comment. Yes, we can fly together eventually, but that depends on you actually getting DCS, number one. Number two, also getting the Tomcat, because I've already signed you up to be my Rio. And number three, getting a decent joystick for when I decide I want to be the Rio. Alright, I do believe we're about to come in, so let me put us to idle here. My landings have been crap, and I'm fully aware of that. I make no apologies for it. It's just a first look. I'm not getting into too much detail. I just wanted to give you an idea of what you're seeing as I see it. But I have to say, I do love the pine trees. They're in the right place. So you will find no complaints from me. I did not see pine trees when we started this live stream in Pennsylvania, so yes, bonus points for DoveTail for not having pine trees all over the frickin' place. But this is Pacific Northwest, so yeah, they belong here. This is good. Very good. Alright, let me make sure I'm lined up properly. I do believe I am. Just a little bit of flare action. Come on, you can land any second now. There's a good girl. Alright, that's probably the best landing I've done all day. While I'm rolling out, I'm going to suck on some water here, because I've been talking for about 2.5 hours. Best of all, we stayed on the runway because, as we discovered, it is really freaking dark in Aspen. Alright, so welcome to Whidbey Island. In real life, this area is the home to Tomcat, or not Tomcat. See, I've always got Tomcat on the brain. Hornet squadrons, among other aircraft. However, this is default, so as you can see, there ain't much here. This is the kind of stuff we need to fix. This is what we need to tell DoveTail. Do we want to have all the default airports look like this, or do we want to make it so that the third-party developers have control over this aspect, or will we expect DoveTail to do it? That's the real question. And that is not something that we can answer today. But I tell you what I can do. Cut across this grass and head over to this tarmac. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Why? Because that is a thing. Hope I don't hit that building. Actually, you know what? I'm going to attempt to hit the building and see if it will actually register as a crash. Because that is something we have not taken a look at, is whether or not you can crash. So here we go. Got what I'm assuming is a little weather building or radar or something. Let's see if we can crash. Kind of clip the wings here. Yep! We can crash! Okay, crashing confirmed in DoveTail Games Flight Sim World. Very nice. Alright, so that will put us back to the start. So in my final analysis, which, bear in mind, this is a first look, I think I like what I see, but I think there is definite room for improvement, and I will be making it a point to make sure that they understand what can be improved upon. We've already seen a good chunk of that, so it is my hope that somebody from DoveTail will actually take a watch of this live stream, as well as some of the other ones that are out there. And hopefully they can get a few ideas out of this. But again, I've been saying it the entire live stream, and I'm going to continue to say it. I'll be saying it all over online, and you're probably going to get tired of hearing me say it. This is where we come in. This is where we need to tell them what we're looking for. They've delivered the basis of the product. They delivered what they promised. Now it's up to us to help them complete it, or at least get it to where we want it to be. And it is taking an awful long time to load up. Is it putting me back at KC? I bet it's going to put me in Seattle. Yep, sure enough. Here we go. We're back in Seattle. All right, but I think that is enough of a first look for DoveTail Games Flight Sim World. Remember, if you got Flight School, this is free of charge. Go to Steam, go download it now, try it out for yourself. See what you like, see what you don't like. Write down the stuff you don't like and tell them how you want it fixed. If you have not yet purchased this and you're on the fence, well, maybe you might want to give it a little bit. Maybe you might not want to get it right now because, to be honest with you, this is very much a work in progress, and it's probably going to be a work in progress for some time to come. Only you can answer that question. Nobody can tell you, hey, you should get it, you should not get it. I'm certainly not going to do that for you. I got it for free, so, you know, it is what it is, but it's entirely up to you. And the final question that I have here, Razorblade asks, what kind of machine are you running on? CPU, GPU, and RAM are of special interest. I am currently using an i7. I want to say it is a 6700, so it's pretty high as far as megahertz go. I have 32 gigs of RAM, and the graphics card that I am using is the AMD Radeon RX 480. Which I understand that the majority of the community would prefer to use NVIDIA because NVIDIA is more optimized for flight sims. I never follow the crowd. I always do something different. The RX 480 has been working just fine for me. But yeah, that is what I have right now, and I've been getting between anywhere from 18 to 30 frames per second. But you also have to remember, I have not done any tweaks whatsoever. What I've been showing you for the last 2.5 hours has been straight out of the box. No tweaks. All right, but with that having been said, I want to thank every single one of you for watching, for commenting, for participating in this first look. And I will definitely be making some more videos. As time goes on, I'm going to be following the progress of this one really freaking closely. I'm not sure if we're going to do anything like we have been doing with FSX, where I normally tell my stories and so on. I might just do like first looks, and if there's an improvement, I'll take a look at that, or, you know, do sort of like a review. I don't really do reviews, but as close as I can get to it. But be that as it may, thank you very much for watching. And this has been Bell Geode. If you've liked what you have seen, please feel free to give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe. if you haven't already done so. And as soon as this video goes up, which will be in a few seconds, feel free to share this so that way other people can get in on a conversation. If you have questions that you want to ask me to ask DoveTail, I will be seeing them next month when I go to Connecticut for Flight Sim Con. Myself, NovaWing24, and Flight Sim Guy, both of whom are moderators in this channel, all three of us will be there. Between the three of us, we'll make sure we ask the questions that you want to know. So if there's stuff you really want to know from DoveTail Games, let us know in the comments. Alrighty, folks, that will do it for me. I am out of here. So thank you as always for watching. This has been Bell Geode, and I will talk at you later. Ciao.